Hey there nation, and welcome to the show where we help you to play miniatures wargaming on a budget. It is I, Commander Cheapskate, and welcome to Way of the Underhells, your ultimate guide to Games Workshop's gritty and immersive skirmish game Necromunda. So whether you're brand new to the dark depths of Hive Secundus or a veteran looking to sharpen your skills, this series is your go-to resource for mastering all aspects of the game. From gang warfare to campaign strategies, we've got you covered. And on today's episode, we're going to talk about playing an Outcast gang, specifically from the noble house of House Greim. In this video, we'll talk about exactly what kind of unique challenges you can face in the Underhells. We'll talk about the allegiances system and how best to work at and to utilize that for your gangs. We'll also give you a 1,250 credit starting roster for both Archeo-Hunters as well as Malstrain allegiances so that we can play in your very first campaign. We'll talk about how your gang should develop over the course of the campaign and provide our overall concluding thoughts on this campaign setting. And because this video is a little bit more of a deeper dive, I will put timestamps in the description box down below so that we can click and navigate to the part of the video that interests you the most. So that being said, let's go ahead and talk about playing House Greim in the depths of the Underhells. So the first thing we're going to discuss, of course, is the Underhells Campaign and the unique problems that you will be facing as a player when you go directly into the Shattered Realms of Hive Secundus. First of all, visibility is going to be a major issue for you. So if you're not one of those kind of players used to having to deal with visibility challenges, this will be quite challenging. Your visibility reduced anywhere between 18 to 9 inches depending on which part of the Underhells you're actually active in. And so because of that, if you're a shooting heavy gang or a gang that prefers to fire at your opponents from long distances, it could be a little bit more of a difficult challenge for you. At the same time, being able to access the trading posts as well as recruiting losses for your fighters is going to be challenging as well, because the deeper you go, the more difficult it's going to be for you to recomp your losses. At the same time, insanity is going to be a rule that you're going to have to face when you're going down to the Underhells because of its haunted depths. So because that psychology is going to be more important for your game more than ever. At the same time, for the first time ever, you have to worry about dealing with NPCs that are roaming on the tabletop. This comes in the form of roaming horrors, which are a bunch of Malstrain brood scum, as well as termites, as well as gene stealers that you will have to fight against, not just them, but also against your opponents as well. Now, when it comes to players, of course, like I mentioned, visibility will be an issue. So in order to mitigate that, equipment and war gear that helps you mitigate that, such as photo goggles, infrared sights, those will be extremely important for you, especially as you go further into the depths of the Underhells campaign. At the same time, having access to flares will be a really good friend for you in this setting because they're the cheapest visibility boosting option. They're right up there with photo lumens. I know some gangs can't actually access photo lumens, so flares will probably be something you want to get used to as well. They kind of illuminate a 3-inch area on the tabletop, and they pretty much act like grenades in order to do so. Now, willpower, of course, is going to be a huge impact in this game as well. A lot of gangs struggle with the willpower characteristic, especially for Outcast gangs, which this gang is going to be. And the reason why is because, as I mentioned before, insanity is going to be a huge problem for a lot of players when they go directly to the Underhells. So having a good, solid willpower characteristic will be your friend in this campaign. So if you decide to level up your fighters, may I suggest leveling up willpower first, so that may have a little bit easier time with those insanity rules. And like I mentioned, trade and recruitment is going to be a problem for your gang, so it's very important that you actually choose the right equipment, the right fighters at the time that you create your gang, because going any further into the Underhells will be a little bit more challenging to get those assets. Now, at the same time, of course, we have to talk about the allegiance system. Now, when you join into an Underhells campaign, you have one of two options when it comes to your allegiance. You can either be Archeo-Hunters, which are basically treasure hunters that go directly into Hive Secundus in order to make riches for themselves, or the Malstrain allegiance, which means that you are actually part of the scenery, in the terms that you're a gang that's just in that area that kind of fights anybody that comes into it. Now, there's a significant difference in some of the bonuses you get as your allegiance. For Archeo-Hunters, you get access to the Abyssal Ferryman team, which is an alliance that you can take with your gang that recruits some really powerful fighters, as well as a custom rig vehicle they could use when you go directly into the depths of Hive Secundus. If you're a Malstrain allegiance, you get 400 additional credits in order to recruit mounted fighters as well as vehicles and that sort of thing. At the same time, the biggest difference between both these gangs is going to be the madness rules. It's probably the most significant difference. Early on, as the campaign goes, Archeo-Hunters will have an easier time of it, but when they get deeper into Hive Secundus, the madness rules will be a little bit of an issue. While it's the inverse for Malstrain allegiances. Malstrain gangs will suffer quite a bit with the madness rules in the earlier parts of the campaign, but as they go deeper into Hive Secundus, the easier time they'll have it as well. Now, regardless of which side you choose, however, trade as well as recruitment is going to be an issue no matter which side you choose. Now this is going to be a House Greim Outcast gang, which means that most of your fighters are going to be from the Outcast gang roster. So aside from Venators, the Outcast gangs are probably the most diverse gang that's out there. You can take a variety of delegations, which can give you an edge over your opponents because you have a lot of starting equipment and skills that are a little bit better than what your opponents kind of start off with as well. However, because you are playing an Outcast gang, the mental characteristics for your gang are actually not that good. For a lot of Hive scum, their cool leadership, willpower, as well as intelligence start at +8. And since willpower is extremely important in this campaign setting, that +8 is going to be a huge hindrance for you. At the same time, your fighters are a little bit easier to recruit, so that part is quite nice because they are cheaper. However, though, being able to recruit those fighters in various stages of the campaign will be very difficult for you, especially as you go deeper into Hive Secundus. Now, the roster that I actually created for this video is a game that I call the Emperor's Chains. It's basically a pretty balanced gameplay between both shooting as well as CQB, which is an acronym for Close Quarters Battle. So you can be able to do a lot of things pretty well. You got some decent firepower in this gang, as well as some pretty good close combat as well. Your Abyssal Ferryman team is going to be able to add a lot more to the Close Quarters Battles nature for your gang. So if you decide to go with the Archeo-Hunter list from this video, the Abyssal Ferryman team will make you have a little bit easier time in the close combat part. At the same time, though, I do have a Malstrain list for this video as well, which comes in the form of your vehicle, and your Malstrain list actually utilizes superior firepower that you can really use against your opponents as well. So depending on which allegiance you take, will kind of depend on which kind of list you'll be using on this one as well. Now, the key thing to remember about this list, regardless of which one you play, whether you're playing an Archeo-Hunter or a Malstrain allegiance, make sure you keep your assault fire team close to your leader, and the reason why is because the Kriegmeister for this gang will be able to give out bonuses for the cool characteristics for your fighter, because like I mentioned before, you are playing an Outcast gang, so cool and will be a huge problem for you in this campaign setting. Alright, so let's go start with the very first list. This could be the Archeo-Hunter's Allegiance. This is the Emperor's Chains, which is a House Greim military attaché gang, which is also an Outcast gang. So let's go and talk about what fighters make up this gang. So first of all, let's talk about your leader. The character's name is Commandant Alaric von Stahl. He is a Kriegmeister. It's going to cost 240 credits. He's going to be Outcast leader, and we're giving this character the Mastermind archetype, so that way you get access to cunning skills as well as Savant as well. Not to mention the Mastermind archetype pretty much fits the overall narrative of what a Kriegmeister is. A Kriegmeister, of course, is a nobleman who plays at being a soldier and at being good at strategy and warfare, so that whole Mastermind archetype kind of pretty much matches that overall aesthetic. Now, this character does come with light carapace armor off the bat, so they got a 4-up armor save. They also got a bolt pistol, which is a quite powerful close range shooting attack that you can also use in close combat, as well as a power sword, which is also quite good as well. We also have an Eye for War special rule, which gives you bonuses in order to choose scenarios. At the same time, this character automatically comes with the Overseer skill as well, so that way you can choose fighters by passing leadership tests and have that character do double activations. Now, you're going to have two champions in this gang. The first one's name is Hagen Totenzonger. He's going to be Outcast champion, so it costs you 180 credits. This character also has the Mastermind archetype as well. We're giving this fighter mesh armor for 5 armor save, as well as a grenade launcher with frag and crack grenades, because it's a good general purpose all-around weapon. We're giving this character stub gun as well for a backup shooting attack, as well as a close combat weapon to protect themselves in close combat. And we're also giving this character photo goggles, so that way they can see 9 inches regardless of the visibility conditions. That way you can still open fire with that frag grenade or crack grenade from a grenade launcher. Frag grenades are great for using against infantry, while crack grenades are good to use against enemy vehicles or hardened targets. And we're giving this character the Overwatch skill from the Cunning skill tree, so that way, as long as this fighter hasn't activated yet, they can interrupt enemy activations by opening fire with a grenade launcher. And being able to interrupt your opponent's activation is extremely powerful, especially if you manage to pin them using a blast template from a frag grenade, or go over something more critical by using a crack grenade. Your second champion's name is Anselm Ziegler. He's going to be Outcast champion, costing you 250 credits. This character's got this Gunslinger archetype. They're going to keep him with mesh armor for 5 armor save, as well as a mining laser and the infrasight. Now, the infrasight will help you with visibility conditions up to 9 inches, and at the same time remove partial cover from your enemies. And a mining laser is no joke. It's a very high strength, high toughness, high damaging weapon with really good armor penetration, good against enemy vehicles or hardened targets as well. We're also giving this character a last pistol for a backup weapon, as well as we're giving the trick shot ability, so that way you can even remove even more cover away from enemies, giving you removing up to -2 to hit against, so that'd be really great for you to target those really critical shots against your opponents. And then we have Ingrid Voigt, which is going to be your Jagerkin. This character's going to cost you 90 credits, which came with your delegation from House Greim. She's packing mesh armor for a 5 armor save, as well as a combat shock with salve and shredder ammo, which is a really powerful rapid fire strength 4 attack with short range shooting, as well as that salvo that shredder ammo with that template attack, which would be quite good as well. They also have the marksman skill right off the bat. So now let's talk about your Outcast Hive Scum. We have Elric Becker, so it costs you 105 credits. This character's got mesh armor as well as a last gun, last pistol, as well as photo goggles. That way they can fire in all visibility conditions with those photo goggles. A last gun is quite a solid weapon to shoot at medium to long ranges, and we have that last pistol for a backup weapon as well. After that, we had Hedvig Rattler, which is another Outcast Hive Scum costing 70 credits. This character's got mesh armor as well as an auto gun, as well as an auto pistol, so that way you have that rapid fire ability. My opinion, the best way to equip this character later on is to get them photo goggles so that we can see in all visibility conditions, but give them a telescopic sight as well, so they get that +1 to hit short range modifier added to their long range shots as well. And with rapid fire 3, that's actually a really good way to go. In my opinion, some of the most slept upon abilities in this campaign setting is the weapons attachments. They can adequately add a lot of versatility and strength to a lot of basic weapons. After that, we have Donnerschlag, which is another Outcast Hive Scum at 80 credits. This character's got mesh armor for a firearm armor save, as well as a shotgun with solid and scatter ammo. Shotguns are wonderful, versatile weapons that can fire a variety of ammunition types. Solid slugs hit like a ton of bricks. That scatter ammo also gives you D6 wound rolls against lesser toughness opponents, and plus the stub gun's a good weapon to have around for a backup weapon as well. And then we have Gunther Hoffman, which is another Outcast Hive Scum costing 175 credits. This character's got mesh armor as well as a sawn-off shotgun and smoke grenades. Sawn-off shotguns are actually quite good. You get that D6 wound rolls from the scatter shot ability with a sawn-off shotgun, but a striking at strength 3, which could be quite good against multiple opponents. Not to mention the smoke grenade could be good to provide some additional cover for your fighters as you advance across the battlefield, so that'll be one thing to use in order to protect your fighters. Our next fighter is Kruger der Unbeugsamer. This is going to be another Outcast Hive Scum rated at 80 credits. This character's got mesh armor as well as a two-handed axe, which is a great and strong, powerful close combat attack that you can use against Malstrain Gene Stealers. You can also use it against pretty much anything else that you're going up against as well. It's a good weapon to have because it's high strength. It's also relatively cheap for your Outcast Hive Scum. We're also giving this character an auto pistol for a backup weapon as well as short-range shooting attacks as well. And then finally we have Sturmherr Eisenfeld, which is going to be an Outcast Hive Scum costing 80 credits. This character's also got mesh armor as well as a chainsword, which is another good close combat weapon. Gives you parry, +1 to hit in close combat, plus says rending, so if you do manage to roll that 6, you're able to put twice as much damage on your opponent, and we're giving this character an auto pistol in order to do some short-range shooting as well. And that's going to make up the core list of your Emperor's Chain roster for a House Greim Outcast gang. Now, because you're taking the Archeo-Hunter allegiance, you're going to take an Abyssal Ferryman team for your allegiance for this one. And you can choose the Enclave of your choice. My personal favorite ones are the Tinkerers, just because you get access to weapons and equipment, regardless of the rarity type, as well as the ability to make training actions. So I think that's going to be really helpful for you, especially in the first 2 rounds of the campaign. Survivors are also a really good one as well. I really like Survivors because you get that free medical escort mission as well if you take a Survivor Enclave. However, with that being said, though, Hunter Enclaves are quite good because roaming horrors are a problem and they give you some bonuses against those guys, and also exploration points are also quite important in this campaign setting as well, so taking explorers would also work out too. So in short, choose whatever enclave works out best for you. Now for this particular list, I decided to go with the close quarters combat list that I created for my Abyssal Ferryman team video, where I made 6 different Abyssal Ferryman teams that you could choose from, and I'm going to use the close quarters battle one just because CQB is an important aspect of this campaign. So we're taking Lycian Thrall, it's going to be your Ferryman skipper. This character's got 5-inch wound allowance as well as 4+ weapon skill, 3+ ballistic skill, 3 strength and toughness, 2 wounds, 2 initiative, 3 attacks, 7 leadership, 6 cool, 7 willpower, as well as 7 intelligence. And we picked this characteristic specifically for the 3 attacks because getting close combat attacks can be really important with this fighter. Now this character automatically comes with mesh armor for a fire armor save, but we're going to improve that with an armored undersuit by making a 4-up armor save because this character's going to be in the press most of the time. This character's got a combat pistol, which could be a combination of auto pistol as well as a hand flamer, so that way you can use that auto pistol in close combat, also do some short range shooting, but the real reason why we're taking this is for the hand flamer, so that way you can set people on fire. We're also giving this character a power sword as a backup weapon as well for close combat, so that way when you charge into close combat, you'll get 5 attacks total with Lycian Thrall, and a power sword is no joke. And we're also giving this character the fast shot skill, so that way if you need to, you can actually stay stationary and fire twice with your hand flamer, so that way you can set your opponents on fire. The next character we're going to talk about is your Ferryman Righam. This character's name is Steel Skin Igora. This character's going to have the 4-inch wound allowance, 4+ weapon skill, 5+ ballistic skill, 5 strength and toughness, 5 strength, 4 toughness, 6 initiative with 3 wounds, 2 attacks, 10 leadership, 6 cool, 7 willpower, as well as 9 intelligence. Now the reason why I picked this characteristic is because of that high strength and toughness as well as the high wound count. This person's going to be really good for close combat. Now this fighter automatically comes with flak armor for 6 armor save, which is, not a really big deal, but we're giving this character a combat shotgun with salvo and shredder ammo. Now you might be thinking, well, Commander Cheapskate, this fighter's got a 5+ ballistic skill. How good could it possibly be? Well, you'll be in the short range most armor often than not, so you'll be able to get that ballistic skill down to 4 for salvo ammo. And at the same time, the shredder ammo has a template attack, which means you automatically hit. So if you need to pin something, I suggest using shredder ammo. We're giving this character Power Maul because that thing is dangerous in close combat. We're giving this character the hip shooting ability so that way they can charge forward twice with their moon allowance, moving up 8 inches, and then you can open fire with your shotgun. Now, normally you suffer -1 hit penalty for doing that, but with a template attack with that shredder ammo, and especially if you're just trying to pin somebody, that could be the way to go. And that pretty much makes up Steel Skin Igora, your Ferryman rig hand for this list. And lastly, we have your custom vehicle. This is going to be your Moonstalker. It's going to be your Ferryman Steersman. This character's got a stub gun as well as the heavy foot skill, so that way you can charge with your vehicle by ramming people. And it's going to be driving a custom rig. That's going to be track locomotion, so that we can deal with all difficult terrain that comes your way. And we're also equipping this thing with a mining laser for another backup mining laser attack, because those things are high strength as well as high damaging. They also cut through armor, and they're great to use against enemy vehicles. We're giving this vehicle a transport cage as well to protect your passengers as you're driving across the wastelands, as well as a nitro burner to mitigate the track penalty, which gives you -1 to your movement allowance. And we're giving this vehicle an easy turnover engine just because you had 5 credits left over, and might be able to help out your engine in case it gets stalled. And that's going to make your Archeo-Hunter list for this campaign. So up next, we're going to talk about the Malstrain allegiance for the Emperor's Chain, which is going to be your House Greim military attaché Outcast gang. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, it's going to be exactly the same as the Archeo-Hunter list that we just went over, with the same fighters as well as the same leader and champions. And the reason why is because it's a pretty solid list, and you can actually use it quite well with the Malstrain allegiance as well. The only major difference between the Malstrain allegiance as well as the Archeo-Hunter allegiance is that you will not have access to the Abyssal Ferryman team, so you have all the same fighters minus the Abyssal Ferryman team. However, you will have access to 400 credits to purchase a vehicle. So we're going to have the Roush Claw, which is going to be a Scum Racer. It's going to cost you 400 credits. This Scum Racer will be driving a Rock Grinder truck. It's going to have twin-linked autocannons because those weapons are the pwn. High strength, high damage, good armor penetration. Plus, you get 2 rapid fire dice that you can re-roll in case you get the ammo jam because the twin-linked special rules attached to it. We gave this vehicle a weapon locker as well, so in case you have any ammo situations, run out of ammo, you can go back to this weapon locker and reload. Things like your bolt pistol, your grenade launcher, or your twin-linked autocannon, for example. It's got tire claws to increase your handling by +1, as well as a nitro burner to make your vehicle move an inch faster, as well as a easy turnover engine because we had 5 credits left over. Now, when it comes to campaign development, my suggestion to you is to get things to help you out with your visibility. Flares are both cheap and effective for visibility. They only cost 20 credits. You could get photo lumens if you want to. The only problem, though, is it does reveal your position if you want to use that. So that's the reason why I like using flares. My suggestion to you, though, is to save things like photo goggles as well as infrasights for your shooters. So people that do long-range shooting or shooting very powerful weapons, I would suggest you save those pieces of equipment for those guys. And pretty much save up between phases, between each campaign phase, so that way you can make your big purchases. The campaign has 2 downtime phases, which you can actually spend 250 credits in both those phases, and that's where you get a lot of the weapons and equipment that you might need later on, like brutes and that sort of thing. Go for more of an elite gang with rather than numbers, which is to have a bunch of equipment that you need to be successful in the Underhells. So there you guys have it. This is my take of House Greim Outcast Gang in your campaigns on Necromunda Hive Secundus for 2025. The Underhells campaign covers a brand new environment with a lot of challenges that can be really unique for a lot of players who want to play within that. At the same time, you have to watch out for a lot of environmental effects as well as non-playable characters with roaming horrors. You got to worry about insanity, all kinds of different things as well. And remember, because of the low visibility as well as the close confines of the campaign you're fighting in, close quarters battle is going to be your friend, so always equip your gang thusly, so that way they can help dominate in those close quarters battle situations. And because this campaign is expanding over time, I'm going to be dropping more content for all of the gangs and how you can use them in the Underhells campaign as well. So I am Commander Cheapskate. That's good for this one. As always, please feel free to like, comment, and or subscribe. Your guys' input is invaluable to us as always. I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace out and stay classy.